Yo, what is happening, everybody? Monster Chappie, and we are in here for some more sim game action, and I got a special one for you. We have two games in this one. Well, maybe one and a half. Hint, hint. Might get a little bit of rage quitting going on. I don't know, but we're gonna see. But with that said, man, first game we're using the San Diego Chargers. Um, what to say about them? You know, they've got Phillip Rivers. They got some really good wide receivers. I mean, Keenan Allen, he's one of the best receivers in MUT, in my opinion, at least for a reasonable price. And he's very good in, regular teams as well. You've got a couple running backs that are solid, couple tight ends that can make plays. And overall, their offense for passing is really good. As far as just rushing, not the greatest, but not terrible either. But they're pretty decent. Defensively, nothing crazy spectacular, but not horrible either. It's just kind of a decent team as far as that goes. So a good passing team and kind of just decent everywhere else. Nothing spectacular, but nothing that you can't manage and work with either. The second game we use the Chiefs, and I do sub in like Jamal Charles and the guys that are injured just because I want to use them at full power. As far as the Chiefs go, man, they got a really solid defense, a lot of playmakers, a lot of athletes, a lot of skilled players there. And as far as the offense goes, you got Alex Smith, who's pretty solid, man. He's, a lot better than most people give him credit for. He's having a very decent season. And then they've got, they've still got a couple wide receivers that can make plays. Their passing game isn't the greatest, I will say that, but they got Maclin, they've got some other guys, they got Kelce, so those two guys are definitely big threats as far as their passing game goes. And then of course their ground game between Jamal Charles and the other guys that they have, they've definitely excel. That's kind of their strength. So you want to kind of be a run first with the Chiefs, pass first with the Chargers, and kind of work it that way. With that said, Eric Weddle comes up with the interception, and Eric Weddle is one of those guys that in past Maddens he would not have been good just because all that mattered was height, all that mattered was speed and those types of things. He's kind of been that guy that's had good stats, but he just hasn't been good in Madden, just due to the nature of the game. But this year that is a lot different. You don't necessarily need to be super fast. It definitely helps, but you don't need to be fast. You don't need to be tall. Those are just kind of bonus things, where in the past you kind of needed those things to actually be a usable player in the game. So, that's a nice change as far as this year's Madden goes. And let's go ahead and get into what we talked about last time. So, as you can see, this guy's using the same Mike Scrape 3 press every single play over and over and over and over. And so that brings me to my next point about one of the things that have bothered me about, oh my gosh, did you see that? What? Oh no, he did not catch that. No way. But brings me to my next point. I've already kind of talked about all the defenses that you see. But one thing that is kind of a little bit funny to me, at least in my opinion, I think it's a little bit funny, is that certain people, they respect certain things, but then other things are considered noob. And, I'm just not a big fan of that. I don't feel like there should be a double standard when it comes to how you should play defense or how you should play offense. And right here we get lucky. And that was maybe not my most sim play call, but this guy was ticking me off because he kept running the same play over and over. But nonetheless, it's beatable. You kind of want to do the same thing offensively, and I'm trying to mix it up. So that's kind of giving me a little bit of a stalemate right there. But, it's almost like, I go on Twitter and I always see the debate, who's good, who's not, et cetera, what makes you good, what, isn't skillful. And it's like people that run blitzes, whether it be the scrape or the 4-3 under or whatever blitz it is that they learn from YouTube or from an ebook or that they've maybe found on their own, you get respect for that, you get credit for that, or whatever you want to call it, but you don't for running coverage defense, or you don't for running two-man under and getting block sheds. I mean, in my opinion, whatever stops your opponent, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? How the heck did he break that tackle? Really? But in my opinion, whatever works for you on defense, use it. And, you know, you shouldn't be considered less skillful because you prefer one play style to the other. If you prefer coverage, run coverage. If you prefer blitzing, blitz. If you mix it up, mix it up. But either way, you can't really call one way superior to the other, one way more skillful than the other. In my opinion, whatever works better and is more effective for you, that's the skillful thing to do. And that's what you should go with. So that's just my opinion on the matter. I really get tired of people saying, oh my gosh, two-man under press is so OP. But they run the same blitzes all game long. I'm just saying, you know, you can stop a blitz same way you can beat man coverage press. So maybe you need to step your offensive skill up. I'm just saying. But that's enough on that topic. Another thing that has kind of grinded my gears, as Peter Griffin would say, is just the craziness. You know, in years past, you would occasionally get a good game or a rage guy or whatever the case might be. But this year, it seems like, you know, it's just everyone blames the fluke, the luck, the game for every single, time they lose or whatever it is. It's never your opponent outplayed you. It's never that, you just had a bad game. It's always, yo, man screwed me. It was EA's fault. And I'm like, man, that's crazy because, what's the point of playing the game if every time I win, it wasn't me. It was EA. And every time I lose, it wasn't him. It wasn't me, but it was EA. I mean, at that point, you might as well not play the game. That's just me personally. Again, it's just a long rant, man. It's like a 2-video rant so far, and it's just going to keep going. So right here, we're able to jump the gap, get the huge stop on 4th down, which is going to wrap up this ball game. And this next point right here, look at that, man. That's just beautiful. But I end up matching up with the same guy in back-to-back games. If you've noticed the gamer tag at the top right there, I end up getting to play this guy 2 times in a row. And I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, the matchmaking system needs some improvement. You should not be matching up with the same guy time after time after time. And this is not the first time that's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you guys. You go into a quick match, you finish the game, you look for another match, you end up playing the same guy. And one time I played the same guy 3 times in a row, and I was just like about ready to break something. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But with that said, man, it's just one of those things you got to deal with. So that is what it is. You got to adjust. You got to play. So, if you're playing someone who is just abusing the same blitz, you kind of just got to do what works against it over and over. Versus this particular blitz, I like running to the left. I mean, there's adjustments you can make to slow down the run. But for the most part, you're going to need to block someone extra and slide protect to pick it up if you want to pass against it. Otherwise, you need to have some really quick passes because it's going to scream through the A gap or the B gap most of the time. And sometimes it'll come off the edge if you slide protect properly. But it's still going to get there pretty quick as he tries to flip the play on me there. He flipped his blitz. But, I mean, it was pretty obvious with this guy because every time he was bringing the blitz from the right, he moved the guy out to the right. If he's blitzing from the left, he moved him out to the left. And, it's just kind of pretty self-explanatory. Now, I did get a message from this guy after this particular game, and he's just like, I got E8, and don't get me wrong, I mean, he had quite a few overthrows, but his big thing was, I just had a bunch of overthrows. That's the only reason, I quit. I just had overthrow after overthrow. You didn't really do nothing, but dang it, my team did not want the cookies. What the heck is going on? Oh, man. And I'm sorry for my sim guys out there. There has been, those 2 plays with the Chargers game was not as sim. But playing this guy, like I said, he got me a little upset because he just kept running the same thing over and over and over. And it was like every single time he was sending the same blitz. And I was just getting annoyed. So I was like, skip it. I'm going to just start doing what works versus it, and then we're just going to keep doing that over and over because I don't know. I mean, the way you beat certain things in the game, you kind of got to play a certain style, unfortunately. And so versus this particular blitz, you know, again, quick passes and running the ball is what's going to be effective. And so I just started using that like crazy. And then, you know, that ended up working out for me. So if you find something that works versus what your opponent's doing, definitely take advantage of it. As we drop a pick there. Should have been a pick. But nonetheless, good defense. We're trying to contain Cam Newton. Excuse me. And he's struggling a bit more against the coverage style defense. So that's why you see me sending a little bit less pressure. But I've been mixing in some heat here and there. But mostly been going with coverage. But at this point, he decides to quit. I guess too many overthrows, or he's seen that this game was going nowhere quick. But nonetheless, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay and commentary. Let me know what you think in the comments below, how you feel about what's skillful, what's not, etc., etc., and about some of the things I said in the video. Am I way crazy? Is Chappie just losing it, or am I maybe onto something? Let me know what y'all think below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more. We got some great 2K and Madden content coming up in the near future. Till the next time, we gone.